show you how to get up and running with the contact form plugin for your WordPress site. This is just a basic primer. If you want to learn any more, there's some good help references here at this link that you can access by going to the Contact tab in your WordPress dashboard. So here we are in the WordPress dashboard. If you came from some other page, you got to find the contact icon and the envelope icon here. And already we've created a very basic contact form. Contact forms have a title and a shortcode, and I'll show you what you're going to do with the shortcode in a little bit. But first, let's edit one. So we click Edit, and there are basically, let's say, 3 areas. This area up here at the top just is the title and a place to save. This section of the page is where you set up the form itself and describe how it's going to look on the front end to your viewers. And here is where you define what behaviors it will have when somebody submits a form. So we've already set up a very simple form. You can probably see imagine a little bit about what it's going to look like. It's going to have one field for your name, one field for your email, one field for the subject and the message, etc. You can add additional fields fairly simply. Let's say that we wanted to add one for your state. So there's a little generate tag over here, and the first thing that you do is choose what type of field it is, and this is based on what kinds of things are going to go in that field. So state is just some text. So you would choose the text field. If you wanted their telephone number, you'd choose telephone number. If you wanted them to supply a date for some reason, you could do that here. Text area is just a very long piece of text. Radio buttons and checkboxes are different choices. So those are just the basics. But let's just make a quick text field. So you'll get this. There's a lot of options here. You can just take the very default ones that are given here. And if you were going to do that, then you would just copy this text down here and put it in your form. And that would generate just the input, just the place where the person would type. So if you wanted more than that, you would have to tell it that you wanted it to say something like some text here. Or if you actually wanted it to be the state, the name of your state, you would put name of state. Now you've noticed I surrounded it by these little P tags. That just means that it's going to be paragraph type data. You can basically just trust the example that you've got here, and just try to format yours exactly the way they format theirs, the ones that you were given by default. So if we hit save here and we go look at, let's see, look at your page. You'll see that now it has name of state here and a big field. So that's kind of how you make some basic edits to it. Let's make one small change here. We made our text field have the name of text, but you'll notice that we could have actually changed the name of the field, and we could make it your state. The reason that this name is important will become clear further down here. Because over here on the right, you see a bunch of things that look a lot like these little, we'll call them short tags. It's just this square bracket thing. And each one of these is a placeholder that will be filled finally by whatever information the person types in the form for that for that corresponding field. So in other words, an email will be generated that has the form from the person's name and their email address with the subject of whatever they put in the field for subject up here. And then it'll pass along their message as part of this email. So this is the basic structure of the email that's going to be generated. So that's why these names are important. If you wanted to add your state, you could do something like lives in, and then your state, and now you would get that information passed along to you from whatever they put in the form in the body of this email. So the email that gets generated when they hit submit is by default going to go to no one, so that isn't going to be very useful. So what we're going to do here is supply a name. So initially I'm just going to put, I'm going to just put my name in here, just so you can see, just put an email address in there, whatever you want it to be. This field also you'll want to change to reflect some useful value, whatever it is, whatever email address you want them to reply to. If they reply to this email, should go in here. Or no, you to reply to. So probably this doesn't even need to be, actually probably this should be their email address. So we should do something like this. So that way you'll by default be responding to them. So this is where you put your email address. Now it can generate more emails. If you want it to generate more emails with exactly this text, you can add additional email addresses here. otherperson@gmail.com. You can also generate a second email with a different body, with different values in these fields, if you want to. Right now, by default, it's not using that. So that's just a basic run-through of the functionality of this contact form. If you need any additional help, let me know.